Hi, this is a quick video I wanted to do on favorite gun of mine. This is a Chinese Type 53. I think my camera's a little bit off. Sorry. A little bit off. Yeah. No, I'm not smoking marijuana. I just have to frequently, I don't know if I've mentioned before, I roll my own cigarettes. It looks like I'm smoking marijuana, although I've never been stopped driving in a car. And I've been rolling my own cigarettes on and off 25 years. Never been stopped. Let me put it out. Anyway, if you're not familiar with if you're watching this video and you're not familiar, this is a 7.62 54R. That is the bullet for Mosin Nagants. This is basically similar. It has ballistics similar to a 30-06, although I'm going to say it's probably in the same range as far as ballistics as a 308. As far as a 180 grain bullet goes, it's probably between the two. Although I will give credit to this round, and there's one reason. That bullet that's coming out of the barrel, the difference between this and a 30-06 and a 308 is that this bullet right here is 7.92 millimeters, which is 31 caliber, whereas the 308 and 30-06 are 7.8 millimeters, which is 30 caliber. So this is actually a wider bullet. If anybody didn't know that, most 7.62s are 30 caliber, but this one's actually 31. It was made in the 1890s, so what do you want? Anyway, and this is my Chinese 53, made in China in 1955, 20-inch carbine. Now the cover to this was taken off, that's it right here, and replaced with this computer-generated piece of plastic. I know this is made with a plastic printer, and it holds 10 rounds. Everything in this plastic except the spring. It's easy to install, so I give it an A for that, for installation. It literally took me 5 minutes to install this. I expected, a big hassle, and no. Let me show you. It looks like. Take my screwdriver, and you can pop this right off here by pushing in on that, and then you pop that up. If I can get it. Oh, there it is. And it hooks in on the other side. And that's basically how it goes on. Okay, now it doesn't want to go on. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, and that's it. This pushes up in here. That's where your bullets sit. And to hand load these work fine most of the time. Hand loading. I can get 10 in this. I can just push it down, keep going, 10, 2. Ready, and it does tend to feed most of the time. I'm a little leery I am a little leery sometimes, only because it's not a story. I'm not going to say who, what, where, why, when, but I know somebody who had one of these guns, and I don't know what they were doing, but they were loading and unloading, and it fired in the house. So, and that's the last thing you want to do with one of these. You really don't want to, 180, or I think those are 180. I'm not sure what the weight of those is. But you really don't want a 7.62 bullet made out of steel traveling through walls. That's not a good idea. So anyway, as far as cycling goes with this magazine, hand loading, I would give it a B+. I just, like I said, if you're thinking about buying one of these, a friend got it for me for Christmas. It was like $40, and it holds 10 rounds. If you hand load it, 95% of the time you can get 10 rounds in there. Sometimes 9, 10. It seems to stick. As far as cycling goes, you're going to have to fully cycle a rifle with these. These do not like to be half cycled or any of that. You can't. You have, if you want to. That's why I said, take it in the field and load it. These do not. Remember these The only safety that these rifles have is this, to let the hammer down, okay? And then, obviously you can't fire, and you can pull it back, and you can, you know, but this is the only safety. So if you cycle it, close it down, that hammer is back, and it don't take much to, you know, to fire that. So that's the only thing with these, because it's a military rifle and a very old one. There is no safety on it other than letting the hammer down, which I actually have done in the field. I'll just, you know, let it down, because I could pull it back in 2 seconds like that. You know, I'm used to it. You know, but you really, I know it looks like it's light, but this is not a light hammer to let down, and you really have to grab it and get a good grab on it, because you don't want to, you just, you know, let it slip. So anyway, now here's the problem. I'm familiar with stripper clips. Now this is an original stripper clip. This is a Russian stripper clip, probably from World War II, maybe a little later. Well, not much later than the early 50s. And because there are issues with the aftermarket stripper clips. They're kind of cheap and thin, whereas these are steel and they load fine. I've never had a problem using these stripper clips with the original 5-round box magazine. But if I try to load this magazine with these stripper clips for 10 rounds, I get 8 or 9, 90% of the time. Alright, so there we're going for a C+. You know, because that's a problem. Now, so the question really is, do you really need this? I mean, you know, my use for this mainly is target shooting. I don't do a lot of it because it's loud and it does have some recoil. Not the greatest pad. The recoil on this doesn't bother me. I'm not bothered by recoil much. I'm used to shooting. I've grew up shooting, you know, 12-gauge shotguns. But other people I know don't like to shoot it because it's loud and it's got a lot of recoil. So when I bring it out, you know, to target, nobody else wants to shoot it but me, and I feel kind of like weird, you know. Because, you know, I don't know, people I know like to, you know, share, you know, guns and, you know, whatever sometimes. It seems to scare people as far as its noise factor and its recoil. So I enjoy shooting it, but do I need 10 rounds? And it is nice for target shooting to have 10 rounds. Even if you were to use it for hunting, it would be nice. You know, some people like the feel. I don't know. You know, a zombie apocalypse could hit, and you might want to need those 10 rounds. But I don't know. I mean, as compared to having 5 rounds, with the 5 rounds, I think it's easier to load. So I could just have, you know, a pocket full of stripper clips and load this thing in seconds. So I don't know. I mean, to me, it seems like a toy. You know, it seems like it looks really cool. My friends are like, "Oh, look, it's cool. It looks like a, you know, more modern gun. You could hold it by the magazine." You know, personally, I would hold it up here, but so is it practical? Not really. Yeah, it's okay to have 10 rounds in it, but it's an old gun. It doesn't really need 10 rounds. It's not semi-automatic. It's just an old bolt action. So I give this magazine, like, I've rated like, I mean, as far as build, it's pretty well made. So I would give the make a B-. It obviously needs, they say in there that it may need some adjustment. I adjusted it. It seems to fit fine, but it doesn't seem to work 100%. So I give it a B-. As far as, do you really need it? I would give it a C+. It's like, it's an You know, like, see this bolt right here? This handle is an add-on. They were selling these a while back, you know, so it's easier to work these. And let me tell you, I've worked the original bolts and these. This gets an A+. This makes cycling these guns so much easier. You can do it with 2 fingers, and it really is. I would give it like an A+ for need, for cool factor, you know. So just to get an idea how I would rate something. So this magazine gets like a C+. It's just, and that's it. I just wanted to show you my Chinese 53 and this wonderful Heartland 10-round magazine that they're selling on eBay for $40. Thanks for watching.